Hello, this is Michael Keller, and this is my screencast for Unit 4 of ATM 101X, the weather and climate of Alaska. I did my observations from the UAF Fine Arts Building, which is located kind of on the outskirts of Fairbanks. So my observations were from January 29th to February 3rd. The only ones I'm going to really take into consideration are the 29th through the 2nd. I'm not going to really include too much about the 3rd. So on the 29th, the temperatures were extremely low, with temperatures of -35 and -34 degrees, with a barometric pressure of 120 millibars, or sorry, 1020 millibars. The maximum and minimum temperatures I recorded for that day were were -26 and -27 for the max, and the minimum below -40. The average temperature for that day was -33.35 degrees Fahrenheit. For the 30th, when I made my observations, the temperature was -28 on both sides of the thermometer, a barometric pressure of 1012. The maximum was 112, 2.12 and 2.14, and the minimum were -28 and -28, and the average was -13 that day. For the 31st, the temperatures I recorded were 8 degrees and 7.5 degrees, so there's a massive temperature difference between the 29th and the 31st. Barometric pressure of 1009, a maximum temperature of 12 degrees, minimum temperature of 2 degrees, an average of 7, about 7 degrees for the 31st. For the 1st, I recorded 11 degrees on both sides of the thermometer, and a barometric pressure of 116, maximum temperatures of 13 degrees and 12 degrees, and minimum of 11. For the 2nd, I recorded -2 on both sides of the thermometer, a maximum of 9, about 9 on both sides, and a minimum of -2 about on both sides, with an average of 3 degrees. And the barometric pressure was also 1016. And there seems to be some correlation between the temperature and the barometric pressure. As the temperature rises, the barometric pressure seems to get less and less. And so this is my my observations compared with the Fairbanks International Airport observations on air temperature. So there are some variations in what I observed and what the airport observed. Um, Seems like particularly on the 30th, there's some discrepancies, much lower than what the airport had observed. But everything else seems to be about within the range that the airport observed. The barometric pressure is very similar to what the airport observed. Almost no discrepancies here. Um, between February 1st and 2nd, you've seen there was a pretty big spike, but they leveled out throughout the day. So on Tuesday, the 29th, when I first made my observations, you can see in the Fairbanks area, which is kind of around here, there's a high pressure system, and it looks like there's an some occluded temperatures coming up towards the Fairbanks area. Yeah, there's when I observed there was no wind at all, so it kind of makes sense looking at this. It was always really clear skies until the 2nd. That's when we start seeing some actual clouds around the Fairbanks area. So on the 30th, you can see there's still the high pressure system around the Fairbanks area, and it looks like might be a warm front coming up. But it's going to be clashing with the cold front, so we'll see what happens with that. Again, really clear, barely any clouds around that area. You can see there's some clouds forming. On the 31st, it looks like Fairbanks is gonna be getting is just in a bit of a cold front right there. still pretty high pressure system around the area, with some snow around the Fairbanks area. But it was, from what I remember, on the 30th, it was really 31st. It was really light. There hasn't been really heavy snowfall in a long time in the Fairbanks area. On February 1st, you can start. So we start seeing some heavy clouds, some more snow clouds, and there's a the occluded front coming in from the south, going to be heading towards the Fairbanks area. You can still see there's that high pressure system around that area. Um, February 2nd, we start seeing some more clouds in that area, some more snow. The occluded front is starting to pass by the Fairbanks area, and we start seeing a low pressure system around around the Fairbanks area, kind of more towards in Canada. And the high pressure system seems to have moved towards the west, which has some area. So this is the maps and GOES images from February 1st, with the visible visual map. It's kind of hard to see in the Fairbanks area because there's no daylight and sunlight. Um, but it looks like there's some clouds in that area. The water vapor map shows that there's the dark heavy clouds we also saw on that day. The infrared shows the same. So basically, all the maps show like the dark rain clouds in all four of them. All four of the maps show that the snow that came that day. So that's it for my Unit 4 observations. Thank you.